All right. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. I am so excited for this panel. We have incredible people here. So welcome to Behind the Curtain, Safe Harbor and the DoD. This is about 1 hour long. I would like to introduce our panelists. I have Amit Alazari here, Chris Johnson, John Redpassi, and myself over at BugCrowd. I'm going to have them introduce themselves. Amit, do you mind going first? Tell us a little bit about who you are.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm so excited to be here with you today. Hi, everybody around the world. I'm joining you today from sunny California, but originally, as you might hear from the accent, from sunny Tel Aviv in Israel. My name is Amit. I just graduated my doctorate in the studies of the law from UC Berkeley, so you can call me doctor, but please don't. I teach at UC Berkeley Master in Cybersecurity program, and I recently, just this week, joined Intel as Director Global Cybersecurity Policy, but today I will be only sharing my own personal views of my prior research, which, by the way, are not legal advice. So if you ever seen my talks, you know I have this usual disclaimer. Very excited to be here today. 2 years ago, I started working on issues around legal aspects of bug bounties and safe harbor, and worked closely with BugCrowd on standardization of the language of bug bounties and vulnerability disclosure programs on a project called Disclose.io, which you're going to hear about today. So honored to be here with the esteemed panelists, and let's get this party going.
Chris, do you mind sharing a little bit about yourself as well?
Sure. Good morning, afternoon, and evening, everyone. My name is Chris Johnson. I am the director of the Department of Defense Vulnerability Disclosure Program. I am not an attorney as well, so I will not be giving any legal advice. I'm just a professional geek. I come from a small town in New York called Jamestown, New York, home of Lucille Ball. So that's always a plus. So we can always laugh at that. I spent my first 6 years in the Air Force flying on an aircraft called the Airborne Warning and Control System. Spent a lot of time deployed overseas, defending other nations and our own. Afterwards, I spent 14 years really throughout the federal government and private industry, ranging from running network operations for the Army, Pacific engineering throughout that theater, mainly focused within South Korea. Really everywhere, Iraq, Arizona, and then with a small company out of Ashburn, Virginia called Telos Corporation as a senior wireless engineer. Currently have a bachelor's degree in IT program management and then a master's in IT information assurance and security. So just really glad to be here and to talk to you guys about the DoD and our program.
Excellent. Thanks, Chris. John, do you mind telling a little about yourself as well?
Sure. My name is John Redpassi. I live in the great state of New Jersey, same place as Bruce Springsteen, minus the race cars. Currently, a contract mission lead on the VDP program, working with Chris to work these bug bounties and vulnerability stuff. Pardon me, sorry, I've got something going on in the other room. My background is I've worked with, I guess I've been with Lockheed for about 18 years now, working a variety of different tasking in cybersecurity and integration between strategic battle command, tactical battle command, and things like that, supporting the U.S. Army. And before that, my background in education is mostly in applied physics. So interesting jump from that to what I'm currently doing.
Excellent. Thanks, you guys. It's such a pleasure to have you, and I'm so thankful to have you on this panel. I know our security researchers are very excited about this panel. If any of you guys don't know, my name is Chloe Mustagi. I work for BugCrowd. I am the research for growth team with Sam and Haddix, and I'm thrilled right now. So let's first dive in here. Tell us a little bit, Chris and John, about the DoD. What are you guys, and what is your connection to bug bounties and vulnerability disclosures?
Yeah, that's a great question. Thank you. So the DoD obviously is an organization that's been around for quite a while. I would say the mission statement for the DoD is we provide military forces to deter war and ensure our nation's security both home and abroad. I think it's important to understand really the size, scope, and scale of the DoD, so you can start to kind of change your mind and your mindset towards how large our attack surface really is. So when you look at the DoD, we are about 2.8 million users. That's active duty military personnel and DoD civilians as myself. We operate across all 7 continents, 160 countries, 4,800 sites. So that's huge. Well, when we really put that in perspective, just realize that we're actually America's largest employer. We're larger than Walmart and McDonald's. So that's a significant, obviously we talk about, the social engineering aspects of that, how the DoD looks at each area of their attack surface, and truly some of the initiatives that we have. So when we think about the question, what is DoD and what's our connection to bug bounties? So bug bounties are definitely a key portion of the DoD's our initiative towards trying to get after the vulnerabilities in our systems. Most of them obviously being the external facing. Within my program, we're really focused on the vulnerability disclosures. So we're a little different than the bug bounties. Most of them are tremendously successful, ran by the Digital Defense Service, DDS. I know they've done hack the anything, hack the Air Force, hack the Marines, the Army, the Pentagon. They're in like the 3rd version. They just finished up Hack the Air Force, and they'll continue doing that. They have a lot of events scheduled. So where we're different though is that that's a limited 1 to 4 week event that they have a very targeted frame. They have very specific systems that they want to scan, pen test, and eventually secure. We are the more enduring program. So we run 365 days a year, 24/7. So it's when you think about what we're looking at, it's not the targeted, it's more of the all-encompassing across the DoD. So the DoD attack surface, once again, we talk about the people, but, also understand that the DoD's attack surface, we're talking 15,000 networks and over 7 million devices. I mean, it's incredible to put that into perspective and the amount of risk that's out there. So we internally, we can't do it on our own. We have some fantastic folks that work around the clock to secure it from both the inside and outside, but we need to have the relationship. Right? We have to have the relationship outside with the researcher community, and that's where the Vulnerability Disclosure Program, or VDP, comes into place. So this was actually started in 2016 by the Secretary of Defense, Ash Carter. The true goal was to really follow private industry's move to develop a relationship with the global white hat community. And at the end of the day, they want to harness that amazing power of crowdsourcing. As we will talk about this obviously more in the next hour, but it's been a very successful program so far, and we look at expanding, what we do, and ultimately the value to the U.S. taxpayer.
I love it, and it totally segues into my next question, which is like, how do you handle vulnerability submissions?
Yeah, no, that's another great question. So we have established an approved policy signed by the Secretary of Defense and all of the different components. We have a website that they can go to. It's HackerOne / Department of Defense. And they basically, you can go on, sign up, and if you see something, you can report it within the confines of the policy. So the policy is right there. We're very much open and honest. We're very transparent, because we want to ensure that the folks that are out there, then they're looking at what we have available to analyze and to research and to report on. We want to make sure they're very comfortable with the left and right boundaries of what we have. Once again, we're the first in the federal government to have an open policy like that to get those crowdsourced vulnerability submissions. I think that's really important, that we're not just doing it on our own, that it's the community. So that is probably the easiest way to do it. You can go to our website on dc3.mil. That'll link you to all that stuff. We started a Twitter page, so all of these, and we have an email address on there too. So we have many different ways that you can reach into and ask questions and communicate with the team, because ultimately we're all after the same thing, right? To defend the DoD's networks.
Great. And maybe John,